Hi everyone, I'm Ash.
And I'm Joe, and welcome. Today, we're going to continue with our Tesla Masterplan Part 3. This should now be episode 4, and depending on how long we go, it could be episode 5 as well. We'll split it up to make smaller chunks. Alright, so they reckon less mineral extraction, and this is just to get us going. So here is the cutoff. There. Lovely little L shape or Z shape. And yeah, I don't know what to say about this. it's,
Each truck is 1 gigaton. Dude.
that's huge. That's absolutely huge. So that is that does it go gig? Does it go ton, megaton, then gigaton?
I would imagine so.
I would thought so too. So it's basically a million tons. Each truck is a million tons of minerals that's been extracted.
Minerals, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
That is a obscene amount.
Okay, so that is normal minerals like metals and stuff we get out of the ground, and that section is the fossil fuel industry, gas and coal, because that's what. Okay, sorry, gas, coal, and oil. Yeah, gas, coal, and
Yes.
oil. So if we go to the next slide, bear in mind the cutoff was here. I'm going to keep my mouse there. We only need 4 gigatons compared to that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 18. So that is a reduction of what, 3.5?
Yep.
4.5. Yeah, 4.5.
4.5, yes, you're right, sorry.
4.5 times. Yeah, that's a huge wrong way. Yeah, that's huge. That's a huge reduction. Um, I don't know if this takes into account once you get to recycling all these battery materials, because it's starting in very small quantities now, because we only have like the first EVs starting to get to recycling now. And when we say the first ones, we're talking the very first ones, like the Nissan Leafs that had like absolute tiny battery packs in them. So there's not a lot there yet. 10 years from now, we'll have about 3 million vehicles a year that needs recycling.
And that's it, then we'll start making proper differences.
But by 10 years from now, we'll be producing 30 million vehicles a year. So it will only be about 10% of what we need. So we'd still have to keep on digging.
Oh yeah, definitely. You're not going to get away from that.
It's
But
once you get to that fully ramped up state where everybody's producing EVs, then 10 years from there, you will start to be able to start reducing the amount of minerals that you extract. So we're talking 2060 maybe, according to my estimations.
yeah, that sounds about right. I don't think you're far off.
That's when recycling is really going to be coming into effect. So there's still some time to figure it out, but Redwood Materials is doing very, very well. I think they're getting, what's it, 98% of the materials back. It's not bad.
Can't say for sure. I'll take your word for it.
I could be wrong. By all means, correct me in the comments. But yeah, still, if it's 98%, that means you get a reduction in the amount of materials that you need to mine by literally 98%. You only need to then replenish 2% of your materials that you originally needed. So that mining is going to come down to a little tiny corner section of that truck.
And that's it. It's going to be
You're
half a
gonna,
truck at most.
yeah. So that goes even less. Okay, so yeah, I say the resources are there to support our transition of what we currently know about. I don't know what USGS is, US ground survey maybe,
Mhm.
estimated resources. So basically,
Yeah,
they're
that sounds
saying
about right.
in the US there's already enough materials that we need. And bear in mind, with new battery chemistries, we might be able to get rid of nickel, might be able to get
Yep.
rid of lithium. So lithium can potentially be replaced with sodium, which is basically salt.
Effectively, yes.
Yeah. They're working on getting higher density batteries out. I think is it BYD who's already started implementing some sodium batteries in some of their vehicles.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, so it already exists at a vehicle grade scale, but it's not quite hitting lithium density yet.
No,
This one
little bit
can
more research and we'll get there.
this one can obviously disappear because we don't really need that unless it's for like the shipping and stuff. High density stuff. Iron, really? That little? I'm surprised on this one. If we're going to LFP batteries, surely this is going to be where nickel stands.
Yes, but then they'll also start looking towards Africa and those sorts of places to start
Yeah,
mining there because there's a
but
lot more resources.
sorry, I'm reading this wrong. This is the percentages needed of what they believe exists in the US. So obviously, there's a hell of a lot of iron compared to nickel, and therefore they only need a very very small chunk of it. I mean,
Yeah, a tiny amount.
yeah, that's nothing. Aluminium, I really thought we would need more aluminium than that, but okay. So
I
I've
thought
seen
silver should be in there somewhere. Why is silver not in there?
because it's such a tiny amount, it doesn't even make a dent in the thing. You don't need that for batteries.
No, you need that for solar panels though.
Yeah, but you don't need it for batteries. But you think about solar panels, I said in the previous slide, a couple of slides ago, said we only need to 3x. So we're already using a third of what we need to use. I think this is mostly related to batteries, in my opinion, because otherwise there would be, I would imagine, more aluminium required, because most cars use a ton of aluminium. I mean, look at Tesla's gigacastings. So there's some sort of aluminium blend in there. I would imagine it's about 60-70% aluminium in that blend, and that makes up pretty much the whole underside of the car.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, whether or not these figures are correct or not, I can't dispute it. I don't know the stats about it. We'll see what
You,
happens.
you think that they've done their research far enough to know what they're talking about?
You would think so. You would think so. I do think that at some point, I think with all of this, including like everybody's models for price targets and everything, there's a lot of speculation involved on what quantities of batteries we're gonna be producing, what quantities of cars will be produced at certain times. So all of these things are speculative, but I
Yes,
would
it's
say
well,
it's within reason, and that's the key
oh,
point. Yeah.
definitely. Yeah. Because the industry is so new, it's almost impossible to say for a fact X we're going to need that much.
Yes.
Uh, it'd be suicide to go and put something out there to say yes, that's what we're going to need.
Yeah. Yeah. This was quite interesting. Yeah. So basically, the more you mine, the more you look for more minerals, the more you find, instead of you just mining what is there, what you found.
Keep
But
depleting it. Yes.
yeah, so in fact, it actually just goes up. So that's lithium keeps going higher, nickel keeps going higher, cobalt. Not really searching much for that, are we? That's only gone up a little bit.
No, it's just one of those byproducts things. As you're searching for something, you find something else.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that was really interesting because they always say that like we got like 50 years of oil left, but they keep finding more. So it's always 50 years, so they must be keep on finding more.
Oh, definitely, yes. Well,
Yeah.
that and the combination of us using less in the future, I think, has something to do with it, but it's not something that they'll
Well,
say out loud because it doesn't follow the narrative.
yeah. I mean, we will always need oil. We need plastics. We need that for medical industry. So,
Oh, yeah, definitely. You're not
but
going to get
the
away from it.
percentage that we need for that is tiny compared to what we need for
Yeah, that's going to
burning
drop
it.
significantly.
Yeah. And this is the big one. This is the recycling. So, as we said, what's it, 2050, 2060, we can get into a fully recycling state and only have to mine tiny, tiny amounts, 2 to 5% of what we need, and the rest can just keep on getting recycled.
And that's it. As the cars get renewed or whatever the case may be,
Yeah.
break the old one down, reuse
This
what you can.
this is the thing that people don't understand. That you cannot do this with fossil fuel. Once you burn
No,
it, it's gone. And once you burn it, you just pollute more. Whereas here, once you start recycling, you pollute less because you have to do less mining. You have to do less other stuff.
yes, but that's at least a 20 to 30 year cycle, like I said earlier, before you can actually start looking at that
Yes,
making a difference.
yes.
And unfortunately, if people can't see it happening in a year's time, they
They
can't see it.
don't have the foresight to go that far.
No. Oh, I won't be alive by then. It doesn't matter. No, it still matters. You might not be alive by then, but it still matters.
Yeah. And this is the last slide of Tesla's Masterplan Part 3. So basically just summarize it, so that will be the end of our video. So, I mean, I'm not really going to run through this, but yeah, have a look.
No, I think we've covered most of it
We've covered it.
in the episodes as we've been going, so
Yeah.
we'll just be repeating ourselves at this point.
I have to just emphasis on this one. The 10 terawatts, $10 trillion. This just seems like, if that's all that's needed, why the hell are we not doing it? You know, it's just, yeah. 10% of 2022 world GDP. Obviously, you're not going to take 10% of your GDP, but if you
No,
took 0.5%, it would take you 20 years to cover this.
exactly, and split it across a reasonable timeline
Yeah,
and get it done.
yes. Even if you split it about to 10 years, 1% of the world GDP, we could be fully renewable in 10 years.
Yeah, I reckon the next couple of years is going to be very interesting to see how this develops and what happens, and more people get clued on to it. And yeah, I think it'll start growing massively. By the time we get to 2030, there's going to be a lot of different opinions out there than what there is now.
Yes, yes. Okay, so yeah, that is the end of the master plan section. Looking really forward to some of the upcoming sections that Tesla's showing how they're producing the next gen vehicle. We're going to go into a lot of detail there. We'll probably go through the slides a lot quicker, but we'll also be going into some slides into a lot of depth. Like especially the split of the vehicle, the new assembly process. Optimus, which is the thing I'm most excited about, even though they only showed a very small section of it, but there was so much information in there.
Optimus was building Optimus. I was so happy to see that.
Oh, man. I literally showed that video to a colleague of mine yesterday, and he basically said there's like, all these things are going to replace us all. I'm like, yes. I'm like, yes, that's why I'm buying one as soon as I can.
That's the whole plan. Have you not been paying attention?
No, most people don't even realize what's going on. Most
No, they
people
don't.
don't understand the transition that's happening. And that's what makes people like us in a very fortunate position, because we can buy into the stocks right now and we'll be making absolute killing once these things take over.
Yeah, definitely. It's a lot of people that I talk to about like chat-gpt and all that stuff. They don't even know it exists. I'm like, I've been
No?
using it for the last couple of months. What are you, living under a rock? It's madness.
Yeah, yeah. I just had, literally today, I had my wife jump on it just because GPT-4 came out. But I just wanted to show her what's going on. And she sat there typing. She's loving it.
Yeah.
Just, I just showed her what it's possible to do. And I wrote in saying, create a bedtime story about two sisters, and I put my two girls' names in there. And it generated the whole bedtime story. And she read it, and she's like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And she started doing all kinds of things. And she's Italian, so she started writing things in Italian. And she gets her responses.
No, of course.
And
That program
it's a
is so
language-based
clever.
model, it's like, yeah.
It is unreal, to be honest with you. I asked it the other day, just for interest's sake, to write me a health and safety policy on working at height. And
Nice.
the stuff it came out with would be almost identical to what we actually have in our company's risk assessment and method statement.
Yeah.
So I actually said to my manager, very, very soon, we won't need to pay people to do this anymore. We'll just do it ourselves. What's the point?
Exactly. I popped on it quickly last night and asked it to write a job advert for a trainee in the field that we do, because I need a new apprentice. And it popped up something that was much better than what I've ever created.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's got a lot of use, to be honest.
Yeah.
Still a lot of work to be done. Because I play around with it quite often. I have found a few bugs and stuff. Been reported back to him and everything else, but it's very, very new. Let's be honest.
You're talking about GPT-3. GPT-4 just got released last night, so
Yeah, but
it's already a lot better.
It will be, yes. To be fair, I've not actually played around with it today.
Well,
I'll probably do it.
You need to pay for it, $20 a month.
I might have to look into that, or I'm just waiting for Elon to release his.
Exactly.
Probably
All
be
right.
better as well. You won't get censored on Elon's.
No.
Or it won't get censored on Elon's. There we go.
No. No. Yeah. No. There's so much information to cover on the whole AI topic. I think we should do that for another video.
Definitely yes.
We might take snippets of this and add it in there. And yeah, I think we should call it there.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.
See you next time, guys. Stay safe.